The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only. Any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk.
Hey everybody, this is Miley.
And this is Porby.
And you're listening to That's What We Said, a podcast where we offer our insight on a variety of topics that touch our lives and probably yours on a daily basis. Hi Porby.
Hi, Miley.
How are you doing this week?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. Are you ready for this week's topic?
Yes, I am.
This week's topic is texting in the new world.
It's a good topic.
So tell me what your thoughts are on texting in this new world.
Okay, so I have a lot of opinions of text in the new world. I think texting in general has taken a whole new definition of its own. Initially, when texting came out, or when we started texting, it was supposed to be simple text messages of like, where are you? I'm standing in front of the door, whatever. Just simple things.
Like truly text messages.
Yeah, text-savvy things. Only text things like that are quick. But now we're doing our entire life on texting. Yeah. Everything is texting. And I feel like we're really losing ourselves, our knowledge, and our relationships over this.
Give us an example.
Of which one?
Of losing yourself or your relationship over text.
Yeah. So I think losing yourself is what I mean is when you start kind of becoming,
dependent?
Dumb. Like Miley. Like this morning, Miley asked me how to spell cat, and I said and she was going to put K-A-T, and I'm like, no, it's C-A-T.
How do you spell bitch? P-O-O-R-V-I.
Mm-hmm.
Bitch. Anyway, getting back to texting.
So I really think that like we're getting a lot dumber, and we're educated folks, and we're acting uneducated with these text messages like the K and the hi and the
that's laziness.
Like it's just where's the creativity and the effort? I just think that we're losing ourselves and our intelligence in texting. And then for relationships, don't have a relationship on text. You cannot have a relationship on text.
Don't ask a girl out over text. Don't break up with them over text. I've heard a lot of times nephews or someone, they'll say, I think my girlfriend just broke up with me over text.
Yes.
I think that's hilarious.
And I actually have a funny story about that. So I was dating this guy a long time ago.
Did you break up with him over text?
Well, listen to the damn story. And then, he was so everything was text. First I was like, okay, initially it's okay, like whatever, went on a couple dates, no big deal, you can text me. But then it came to a point where everything was on a text, and I, called him and I was like, hey, I think for us to move forward, it would be beneficial if we talked on the phone, because at least that way there's emotion and there's a connection.
I just find it hilarious, though. It's funny. That's so simple and basic.
I know.
But the fact that you had to say it.
Yeah, and it was such an awkward conversation, too. It's just like, can we, talk on a phone?
What did he say?
And so he was like, well, he's like, yeah, we can talk on the phone. He's just like, I don't have time to talk on the phone. And I was like, if you ain't got time to talk to me on the phone, then you ain't got time for me.
Exactly.
If you're not going to go 100%, then I'm not going to go 100%.
Exactly.
It's not worth my time. I'm like, come on, really? You don't have time?
It's a cop out.
So anyway, the first couple times we talked on the phone, it was great. But then again, it just goes right back to texting, and it was, it's frustrating.
Now going back to what you were saying earlier, people getting dumb or people getting lazy, technology getting advanced. I mean, I think they're meant to make it easier for us to live our lives and, for the busy professional, right? So I feel like all of that is meant to help us, but instead it's making us, like you said, we're so reliant on it. The guy you were dating was just kind of like, oh, I just don't have time. Like, seeing you in person is fine, but I just don't have time. I mean, I know sometimes for me, when I get a text, there's two ways to look at it, right? I get a text from a girlfriend, one of my best friends, and I'll see it and I'll be like, oh, okay. In my mind, I'm mentally responding to her. Then I put it away. And then maybe later the same day or the next day, she'll reach out to me and she'll like, girl, do you see my text? I'm like, oh my God, I thought I responded to you. So there's that part of the whole texting debacle. But then also, I've definitely been an offender of lazy texting because I just don't want to have a conversation. Sometimes, if I have to say something to a friend of mine or, have to call my mom or something, or I don't want to have a long conversation. I want to ask a question and I just want the answer because I'm so busy, I'm going to move on. And I know I get a lot of texts like that too. My smiley, what's the blah, blah, blah? And I'll text back. But I use it as just being lazy. The lazy man's...
But I think, and that's the
way
problem,
of
like
living.
we're getting lazy and we're letting technology, like our smartphones are making us dumb.
Yeah, our phones are getting smarter than us.
Yeah,
which is
they are. And it's kind of sad because, I was just talking to someone today and they're like, oh, I was typing and the word definitely came up and it was misspelled and my autocorrect was about to autocorrect it. And he's like, no, I'm going to figure out how to remember how to spell definitely.
Because you're not going to
know
how.
And I think we're so dependent on technology doing things for us that our value is depreciating, right?
Right.
So for me, like I'm not a good texter. Like if you ask any of my friends, I will text maybe like 2 words, maybe a line, but that's it. Like
and that's
it. That's it. But I have friends who write a damn book. I'll wake up in the morning and there's like 200 text messages and I'm like, cheese, Louise, and cheese.
Me.
Well,
cheese, Louise, cheese, Eddie's disease.
Yeah. And I'm like, please, like, do you guys have no lives?
No, I know. You know what? I do that all the time. I'm passionate about something and I tell a whole story and I'm like, I want to tell all my friends. And then there's people who text long-ass paragraphs. And then there's the people who just break up their long-ass paragraphs into a few words. So you get 50 texts from them.
Enter.
Enter, right? So it's like, oh my God, what are we doing, I mean, I do that all the time. Another facet of this whole texting thing, tell me if you are an offender of this. When you receive a text, and maybe you're like a 1-word, 2-word texter, right? And you might be having a long conversation or discussion or argument or whatever. And it's almost like, I know we talked about this in a past episode, like email has no tone.
Right.
I think we talked about it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So you'll get something and you'll automatically reply. And then you go back and you're like, oh, wait, oh my God, I totally read it wrong. Because you're reading it and you read it wrong. Like it could be, I don't know what the example is. They could be saying something else. And you reply to what you think you read.
Yeah. And that causes a lot of issues because it's miscommunication.
Somebody could get mad.
And that's a huge, So I am an offender of both ways where I've texted something. So the thing is, text has no emotion, that has no depth, that has no anything, right?
But
it's just words.
What if we put an emoji in it?
Yeah, so I mean, then it brings an emotion. But like, I'm a very sarcastic person. Like when I say stuff, it's sarcastic. But
like
if you don't know
say
me,
I'm a
that
bitch,
you dumb,
I know I know that's
I ain't sarcastic. It's true.
You love
but
me though.
I don't.
She does. Everybody, she does.
When I'm texting and I kind of lost my train of thought. You made me lose my train of thought. Now I just got dumber.
Realize.
Yes, there's no emotion in
Dumb.
text. Yeah, there's no emotion in text. And so you get I get in a lot of arguments over text and I'm a sarcastic person. So people are like, that's kind of rude. And I'm like, no, you don't know my humor. Like, so I have to put like JK or LOL after everything.
You got to be careful who you text.
Yeah.
Like if you know someone, like there's certain things I might text you that I'm not going to text somebody else.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I text you, I'm going to call you a hoe.
But if I didn't know you, I'd be like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, this bitch called me a hoe.
What the hell, man? Kick her ass. Who's Smiley?
Exactly.
Who's this Filipino girl?
Filipino. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot. I've had a lot of initial, when I read a text, I find myself having to read it twice before I respond because I don't want to say the wrong thing
misspeak.
Or take us down to the, in the wrong area.
So then there's the other thing is like arguing over text. So I just recently...
You can't be doing that. That's so hard.
It is, but here's the thing. And this, I think, goes back to our previous episode of Fighting Fair. I got in an argument with a friend and went back and forth. And then I was just like, I don't know where to go from here because they're going to have to call me if they want to talk to me about this. I'm not going to call them.
Because it's just text, right?
Because it's just text. And it's like kind of stops at a certain point. You go back and forth and you're like, okay, you know what? You're just going to have to talk it out.
Well, you know what? Sometimes people are more brave on text. Like they won't say certain things to you in your face.
Yes. Agreed. I'm the same way. I think people hide behind their text messages, and I think they hide behind their true personality because it's just easier that way, right? With text, I don't get to see your face. I'm the same way, and I talked about this in my previous episodes about Fighting Fair. It's like, I'm non-confrontational.
Yeah.
So it's easier for me to text somebody like, look,
Can you go to the jacuzzi with me?
I think my confidence is exactly. I think my confidence is higher in text messaging because it's not a face-to-face.
And that's bad
Yeah.
because then why, whatever you say on text, like I always tell my kids this, whatever you write down on text or anything, you better learn how to defend it because those are receipts right there if you got it on text. But how many times have you like me at least, I've texted something, I hit send, and I toss my phone across the bed. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I sent it. Anyway.
But that's the thing, then that's people hiding behind their emotions and
Yes.
allowing text message to speak for them instead of doing it face to face. And we're losing those verbal skills and that comfort and the confidence.
Yeah.
We're losing our confidence.
And that's not good. I don't know if we're going to be able to find an answer to that. I think everything we talk about, we don't have answers for.
Well, but stop texting. Here's my answer. Especially if you're courting a girl. Okay, if you're courting a girl.
Okay.
You know,
situations.
and I know a lot of my friends have asked, like, Privy, how long should I wait before I text a girl? Or if I'm texting too much. And we talked about this in the Friend Zone episode of, what's the appropriate amount of time to text someone when you like them. And I think, honestly, like, I'm an old school girl, right? I'm a micro generation. I'm a zennial. And
the hell?
and those are past.
You're a bitch-lennial.
I'm a bitch-lennial.
And a whole-lennial.
Yes, and I actually like a guy to be like, hey, are you going to be home tonight? I'd love to give you a call. I love that. That will is an instant turn on for me because I'm like, okay, this guy cares. He's dedicated.
Marry me now.
Yeah, he's dedicated enough to make that effort. Most guys are like, hey girl, what you doing? You want to go to dinner?
Hey girl.
What are you doing on Saturday? Like, honestly,
Are most guys like that?
Yes.
There's some good ones too.
maybe not the older ones. They're not bad guys.
Yeah.
It's
It's
their
just their
comfort, their
style.
confidence
Yeah.
is gone, and it's hidden behind the text message.
Yeah.
Right? So now they're like, I like you, I want to go out with you, but I'm scared to ask you. It's like that guy who doesn't approach you at a bar. He
Yeah.
stares at you, but he doesn't know how to approach you.
Ogles
Same
you.
concept. But
Yeah.
now the texting has been intervened between the girl at the bar, and you. You can send her a text without having to walk towards her, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But walking
wait. How are you going to send a girl a text without having to walk towards her?
No, I'm making it as an example.
Oh, duh.
Yeah. There we go, back to the dumps.
I was hallucinating for a second.
Instead of a guy walking up to the girl and saying, hey, my name is so-and-so.
Yeah. They want to text first to make sure the girl...
This is a handicap.
Yeah.
It's a huge handicap. And I do it too. Hey, guys, I'm not even saying I don't do it because I express my emotions very clearly in text.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk to me face-to-face, you're going to meet me in my jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi. Wait, so what would you prefer? Again, rewind for a second. So you preferred the guy to call you and be like, hey girl, what you doing?
Because, you know what? Because if it's an initial relationship, it's actually better to call someone because then you don't waste your time. You know immediately whether or not you want to spend any more time talking to this guy or girl, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're on the phone for an hour and you're like, we had nothing to say. This person sucks. Then why even go on a date or a couple dates with them and to find that out later after you text them, right? But like if you're texting, you're going to spend days on like getting to the point of like, oh yeah, we're not really compatible.
Right.
So yes, I like to be called, and a lot of
in
times
the courting phase.
In the courting phase.
In the courting phase.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I always just call people because for me, it's easier for me to just be like, hey, what time are you going to come over? Because there's traffic, you might want to take this road, instead of me like texting it all. I'm always a phone person. I'm a phone person. A lot of guys and maybe some girls are not phone people.
Right, exactly.
So for them, it's easier to be like, but I don't mind texting if it's quick things like I'm outside, come outside, I'm outside, right? I don't need to call you for that.
But if you get to a point, I know this happens with me and my girlfriends all the time. We're like back and forth, text. And all of a sudden someone's calling and we're like, okay, decided to just call you.
Yeah.
So I think you just know when to, okay, it's time to stop the text message.
I think after like a few text conversations, just call each other.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I know. Those are all the bad things about texting. Take us up. What's something good? And we're talking about texting in the new world. What's something good about texting?
It's time saving.
Yeah, exactly.
You get a lot of time back, right?
Yeah.
Like I can be, in the bathroom getting ready to put my makeup on, amongst other things.
You'll be texting.
And I can text quickly and say, whatever I need to immediately, and I don't have to spend, because I feel when you talk on the phone, you have to, people hate
Focus.
people hate silences
Yeah.
on the phone, so you
Yeah.
always have to think of the next thing to say.
Exactly.
So you're like, I don't really want to be on the
Why
phone.
do you think about the next thing to say? Listen to the person.
No, but if you're gonna have a conversation, it's not like, hey Miley, I'm outside, bye. It's not like that, right? It's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm getting ready. Okay, well, do you want to meet me outside? There's like 60 words in the middle instead of like, I'm outside, right?
Exactly.
So
I'm outside.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the good part of texting is it's convenient, it's time saving, it's quick, it's efficient.
Yes.
The bad thing is you can't allow it to become you, your emotions, your thoughts. Consume you, and then we shorthand on text too, which is making us dumber too, right? Like and instead of YOUR, I put UR, right? And sometimes when I'm typing I'm typing an email and I'm like, oh, I can't put a UR in there. I have to put an actual word.
What you doing?
Yeah.
LOL.
Yeah. You can't do it. You can't. Yeah.
HMU.
So I think it dumbs us down a little bit. You can't do that.
I think one thing that's helped me with the texting is with having Sammy away in school. I text her randomly throughout the day. Like just texting, and she wouldn't respond right away, and then she was feeling bad. So we've come to an agreement because I like being able to text her, and she likes receiving my texts throughout the day. She said so. I got receipts. I'm not just making that up. But we have this agreement that if I text her randomly throughout the day, I'm not going to expect her to text me back until at least later that evening. Within that same day, at least respond. So for me, that's how texting has helped my life, at least, of getting used to my daughter in college. But then also texting, what you said, it's quick. Being able to text a whole bunch of people. How many like group chats do you have? Like I have group chats with my siblings. I have group chats with this set of friends and a group chat with another set of friends. But another problem with that, though, you might send a message to the wrong set of people. You're like, oops, I didn't mean for my brothers and sisters to hear that. Yeah. But yeah, so there are good things about texting, but I think you have to remember to don't let it
consume your life.
Replace you. Yeah. Like when someone's getting to know you, don't. You gotta earn that texting with a person.
And I know when you're first courting, it's I like being the phone call. Like I like the phone calls, but I know a lot of girls don't. So the guys are always like, I don't want to call her. What if she thinks I'm weird? Or how I don't want to keep texting her, and I don't want to keep calling her. Like, what do I do? And it's a really clean balance between the two, right? I think initially when you meet, obviously there's going to be verbal communication. If it's on email or if it's on a matching site, then it's obviously going to be a messaging conversation. But then you have to make a date to call each other. To say, hey, instead of just saying, hey, you want to hang out this weekend? Because you don't know if you want to waste time on this person or not, right? They might be a creeper.
That's what happens to you, huh? Creeper alert.
So the great way to vent them out is like, hey, do you mind if we chat on the phone tomorrow night just to get to know each other a little better? And if you have a great conversation that actually gets you excited to meet them the next day, right? You're like, oh yeah, we had a great conversation yesterday. I'm actually excited to meet this guy. But if you don't do that and it's all constantly texting, A, you don't know this person, you don't know the excitement level, you're going to be like, I don't even want to go on this date. B, it turns into sexting really quickly. Yeah.
I know, I notice. You text me all the time, Corby.
You know you like
I'm
it.
like, ooh, stop texting me while
I'm teaching you. You asked me, can you teach me how to sext? And I said, all right.
So anyway, texting is okay, but don't let it make you dumb.
Yeah. I don't use autocorrect, actually. I turn my autocorrect off.
No wonder your texts are dumb.
Please, bitch. Please.
But anyway, no, I think, I agree with what you say. So especially if you're courting, don't let texting be your wingman or your wing girl.
Yeah.
Get to know, especially if you're texting Porby.
Please call me.
Thing. So
unless you're a creeper. Don't call me if you're a creeper.
But what if he's a cute creeper?
Maybe. Then he might be, what do you call it? Catfishing me. There ain't no cute men out there.
He gonna text you.
I'm gonna get a penile text message. Please don't do those either. Lord Jesus.
What? Okay, that's another podcast episode. Penile text messages and how not to send those.
They're not appropriate. Nobody likes them. Nobody wants to see that shit. Keep it in your pants.
How do you know?
I know.
Speak for yourself, Porby. Maybe I want to see
That's the only action Miley gets.
It is.
Random penis photos.
So thank you everybody for joining us this week. We appreciate it.
Let us know how you feel about texting. Do you guys rather have texting than anything else? Is it making you dumber?
Yeah.
Is it making you smarter? Like, is it more efficient for you? Like, what's your thought here?
Are you just dumb, period? With or without texting?
Yeah. You know what? I can't help you there.
You just
None of my podcasts is gonna help you there.
You're just gonna be straight dumb. You're gonna have to call
Miley
on God.
has come to terms to
You're
that
just gonna
one.
have to call on God. Yeah, let us know your thoughts. Visit us. Send us an email. Send us topic suggestions on what you want to hear us talk about. If you want to get Miley and Porvy's take on whatever it is, send us an email. It is thatswhatwesaidpc@gmail.com. So send us an email. Most importantly, rate us. Give us a review. We want to hear from you. Even if you give us a 1-star, even if you tell us we sound dumb, just rate us, review us, because you know what we're trying to do? We are trying to get on the Ellen Show. So
And Oprah.
please, if anybody listens to us, if you guys have a connection to Ellen, please let us know. Ellen, Oprah, here we come. We're on our way. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Bye. Porvy, when are you going to give me an example of sexting?
I don't think I can teach you anything. You're beyond hope.
Bitch.